Gaming has been controversial for a very, very long time. And while some of the controversies surrounding games are only important for those who are part of the gaming community, some of them reach insane outrage to the point of being picked up by mainstream media. Hey guys, ArcadeCloud here, and today we're counting down our top 10 biggest gaming controversies of all time. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. It's free. At number 10, we have Mass Effect. Hailed as an incredible step forward for technology in RPGs, Mass Effect was actually surrounded in controversy during the game's launch. The player is able to play their cards in a way that leads to sex scenes between Shepard and the other NPCs. Fox News caught wind of this, and they were definitely not too happy about it. Word spread that this game was just an elaborate cover for a fully fledged sex simulator. The character creation process was seen as a way to nail down exactly what gets you going. They completely ignore the fact that you have to play through a pretty significant amount of the game before actually getting any of these scenes, and they're meant as a supplement for the story and gameplay. It's a very small portion of the game, and there's actually very little explicit nudity. About as much as you'd see in a rated R movie, which happens to also be the same age range for M-rated games, 17 years old or older. But Fox doesn't let go of this and just works it up like it's going to affect kids. Don't buy M-rated games for your kids then? I mean, I don't know, like, be a better parent? They even go as far as to make the pun sex box. Really? Regardless of the massive holes in this story's logic, they ran the piece anyway. One of the guests they have on that's against the game even admits that she's never actually played the game. Talk about outrage over nothing.
Yeah, it's completely incorrect. First of all, you can actually play as a man or a woman in the game. Cooper, have you ever played Mass Effect?
No.
Who can argue, possibly, that, Luke Skywalker meets Debbie Does Dallas is a good thing? It's not. It's just not good. And I'm definitely not going to let Mass Effect in my house.
What happened to Atari and Pinball and Pac-Man?
At the end of the day, it's just like Chet said, it's up to parents to control what their kids are seeing.
It is.
At number 9, we have No Man's Sky. After months and months of hyping this game up, Hello Games, and specifically Sean Murray, basically just flat out lied to everyone. Tons and tons of features that they were mentioning in interviews were nowhere to be found once the game was actually released. Now, they have actually been patching in a lot of the promised features in the game over time, but the reality is that it wasn't pitched as an early access title. It was pitched as a finished game. Lots and lots of people pre-ordered this game in anticipation of it being the next big game to overtake a huge majority of the gaming community's time, but it just ended up being a gigantic disappointment. They even lied to talk show hosts like Stephen Colbert, saying that the game was multiplayer, but that the likelihood of you running into other players was very slim because of how big the game world is. A game world that enormous only takes up about 5 gigabytes of space? Okay, I'll believe you, I guess. The game was so poorly received at launch that it caused an insane amount of people to return the game on Steam. A rumor got out that Valve was giving refunds for people who had played over 2 hours of the game, but that's not typically the rules that Steam refunds follow. So Valve released a statement specifically for people who were refunding No Man's Sky on their Steam support portal. What a colossal mishap of a game.
Can I teleport back to my ship?
No.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Will there be NPC characters?
No.
Can I chop down a tree?
Sort of.
Do you ever get a good look at your character?
You can see other characters. And they could see you.
Can I build shelters?
No.
Can you ride a dinosaur?
No, you can't.
Can you customize your ship?
No.
Can you have more than one spaceship?
No.
Can you build a space station?
No.
Are you uncomfortable?
Yes.
Moving on to number 8, we have Night Trap. This game was part of a major Senate hearing in the United States about violent content in video games, along with many others including Mortal Kombat. Shh, Mortal Kombat is actually on the list, but don't tell anybody I told you that. We'll just get to that one later. This game is a strategy game that takes place in a house with a lot of women, and the objective is to protect them from people who are breaking into the house to hurt them. But somehow that got mixed up in the hearing because some senators assumed that the objective was to hurt them. This is really just a case of misunderstanding. I mean, really, all you have to do is read the synopsis on the back of the box. This game, however, was pulled from shelves pretty early on, and is a cult classic now for its quirky B-movie style and full-motion video. It's a relic of the 4th and 5th generations of consoles, and it's definitely got some nostalgic vibes nowadays for people who grew up on it.
Megan, this isn't gonna work. You're not hearing me. Wait. What are you doing now? Megan, no!
Speaking of nostalgia, at number 7 we have the Nostalrius server for World of Warcraft. It was a private server that stripped back World of Warcraft to the state it was in before Blizzard infamously demolished the core game with expansion packs. Lots of WoW fans claim that the game was so much better in its early stages and have been asking Blizzard for a long time for a vanilla server option. Blizzard has said no over and over, so with the help of a few mega fans, they brought back vanilla WoW on a private server. Millions of players flocked there to play the game as they loved it way back in 2004, and then Blizzard took it down. The fans were outraged, disgusted even. It was just a few fans doing something for the other fans out of pure love for their game. They weren't making any money on it. If anything, they were actually losing money keeping the servers running for the millions of players. But it turns out that Blizzard finally saw the demographic for vanilla WoW servers and decided to bring them back. Shutting down Nostalrius was only the first step. They announced at BlizzCon this year that they would be bringing back vanilla, and the community rejoiced. So at least there's some resolve here, but why would they take something non-profit down in the first place? It seems anti-fan, but really they just wanted to draw in more of their old customers.
Ice cream is one of my favorite desserts. Personally, I love chocolate, but I understand that for some of you, your favorite flavor is vanilla. I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
Alright, at number 6 we have Mass Effect Andromeda. Met with some of the worst criticism of a game's polish I have ever seen, it was certainly a disappointment. Fans of the series were promised a new experience that would be miles ahead of the original trilogy, but they were given a completely broken mess. Glitches everywhere, facial animation that looked downright creepy, and generally broken gameplay. It was the laughingstock of the gaming community during launch, and it hasn't really redeemed itself. Discounts have already been pushed out, and the game often costs less than half of the launch cost during sales. Not even these sales can fix a game that was just completely rushed to begin with, and that's why it gets number 6 on our list.
What happened?
You were clinically dead for 22 seconds.
Don't worry. I majored in glad handing during Pathfinder training.
I suppose you're right.
Incoming call. Patching it through. Sam! Now!
At number 5, we have the Xbox One. It was panned extensively at launch for its exuberant price, its Kinect requirement, and its always-online DRM practices. Lack of backwards compatibility with Xbox 360 games didn't help, and the fact that you couldn't buy or sell games secondhand on the console was a huge blow to its sales as well. Not to mention the faulty hardware and the monstrous size of the thing. I mean, this console was just such a colossal flop at launch that it hasn't recovered its reputation since, with the PS4 outselling it 2-1. This was such a cocktail of flaws that it ended up completely ruining the reputation of the Xbox brand name. Microsoft was pitching this as sort of an all-in-one set-top box for media streaming, playing, and gaming purposes, but because of this lack of focus on gaming as a game console, it was also criticized for its lack of games and overemphasis on cable TV integration. So much so that the following video went viral, expressing the distaste the Xbox One received in the gaming community.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Xbox One.
TV experience. TV. TV and movies. TV. Xbox. Watch TV. 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 Watch TV. TV. TV and TV remote. TV experience. TV. 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 Sports TV. 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 Anybody? TV. TV. And TV. 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 Xbox. Go home.
At number 4, we've got Carmageddon, a game that was banned from release in many countries due to the ultra-violent nature of the gameplay. The game's goal is to run over pedestrians in very gruesome ways, and during a massive uprising of controversy surrounding violence in games, this game didn't fare well with the presses. After lots of media coverage and outrage from many parents, this game lives on in infamy as one of the most controversial game concepts ever created. Oh, but nowadays it's sort of tame, so it got a re-release on many different platforms, including mobile devices, so you can play this game on iOS now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Starting off our top 3, we have, like we discussed before, Mortal Kombat. This game is famous for its over-the-top graphic depictions of violence, and yeah, it was pretty kick-ass for the time. But concerned mothers and Congress members didn't like the game all that much, with the game eventually leading to the creation of the ESRB. Yeah, the video game rating system wouldn't be the same as it is today without the help of Mortal Kombat. I mean, sure, a few other games were plenty controversial before it, but the success of this massive smash hit was enough to flag the attention of the government. With all media that pushes boundaries, Backlash is not far behind, but the fact that this game almost single-handedly kickstarted an entire rating system for interactive media won't go unforgotten.
First, we have Mortal Kombat, which is a martial arts contest involving digitized characters. Blood splatters from the contestants' heads. When a player wins, the so-called death sequence begins. The game narrator instructs the player to finish, and I quote, finish his opponent. The player may then choose a method of murder, ranging from ripping a heart out to pulling off the head of the opponent with spinal cord attached.
And at number 2, we have the CSGO skin gambling scandal. In the game, you find crates that you can unlock for random skins of varying rarity. You can unlock these crates with keys that must be purchased with real-world money. You can then sell these skins on the Steam community market for Steam wallet funds, or trade them with your friends on Steam, or through third-party websites. The massive demand for these skins caused prices of rare skins to inflate to fairly ridiculous numbers, and some third-party websites began creating applications to facilitate skin gambling. Now, while these skins are just in-game items, they can actually be traded on these third-party sites for real-world money. So basically, it's just actual gambling. The community of CSGO is mainly adults, but there's also a strong community of kids under 18 who are getting into this gambling stuff. Yeah, retro. So Valve received a ton of bad press about the whole situation, but not nearly as much as T. Martin and Syndicate, two YouTubers who co-founded a site of their own. But here's the big issue. They didn't tell anybody that they were the owners of the site, so they sent a lot of their fans to this site called CSGO Lotto, claiming that they would win enormous prize pools, and recorded lots of videos of them winning big on the site. The only problem is that they could have been tweaking the odds in their favor on the back end, since they were in full control of the site and its odds. Essentially, it was a massive scam, and the two of them could face prison sentences and felony charges. All this for some shiny, colorful in-game skins. What a worst-case scenario, right?
Now, according to this Bloomberg article entitled "Virtual Weapons Are Turning Teen Gamers into Serious Gamblers," they allege that these gambling sites take 2.3 billion trades. Just in 2015, 2.3 billion. That's a huge industry. Valve has created a loophole for themselves by claiming that CSGO skins aren't money and therefore it's not gambling. But if you look, you can immediately sell these skins for real money.
And finally, at number 1, we have the insane controversy surrounding Star Wars Battlefront 2. Oh, EA messed up big time on this one, and the internet will never forget. The situation is pretty complex, but we'll try to sum it up as quickly and as accurately as possible. The multiplayer progression system involves equipable cards called star cards. These cards improve your stats and increase your chances of doing well in multiplayer. Now, you could play the game to unlock these cards, or you could just buy them with real-world money through microtransactions. Basically, the game is pay to win, but that's not all. Someone on the game's subreddit complained that the free progression system took way too long to unlock characters, and EA responded with one of the worst, most backwards and greedy comments the gaming community has ever seen from a company. Ever. Their comment basically said that the insane amount of time you have to grind in order to unlock anything is to give players a sense of accomplishment. I'm sorry, bull. absolute bull. The objective is to incentivize players to buy these things to unlock them, rather than spending the painstaking amount of time it takes to unlock them for free. The internet erupted into a big hate machine, and EA's response on Reddit is now the most downvoted reply in all of Reddit history. Let me repeat that. In all of Reddit history. The worst ever. EA heard the backlash loud and clear, and for now they have disabled microtransactions and reduced the amount of time it takes to unlock things. But I mean, come on, the damage is already done. Some countries have even begun investigating EA's business practices and might be taking them to court over this stunt. Disney is disappointed in all the bad press the game is getting right before the new Star Wars movie is scheduled for release. Maybe EA will get their license revoked to use the Star Wars name. Who knows?
The Battlefront 2 beta arrived, and it turned out that the game wasn't just diluted by loot boxes. It was completely, unequivocally, unbelievably, disgracefully, cosmically pay to win. Items that could be acquired for real money offered direct, powerful stat upgrades. Whether you won or lost fights directly depended on whether you'd spent money in a lot of circumstances. Needless to say, this rightfully pissed a lot of people off.
And there you guys have it, our list of the top 10 biggest gaming controversies of all time. Do you agree? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos from ArcadeCloud on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Take care and game on.